Hey guys, Victoria here, and welcome to the Geeky Sandbox. Today we're going to talk about episode 1 of season 4 of The Flash. Did I sound just like Barry? Did I sound just like Grant Gustin? I hope I did. If not, this is embarrassing. Okay, I'll stop talking. Before I go any further, if you haven't seen the last episode of The Flash, or you haven't seen this recent episode, then do yourself a favor and turn around and go watch some of the episodes. But if you're okay with spoilers, then by all means, please stay with us. The title of this episode is called The Flash Reborn, and they really gave heavy hints that the episode was going to be about Barry coming out of the Speed Force and just Barry being this new man that has to get used to being back and everyone readjusting to him being back in Central City. And as I mentioned in my last video about The Flash, this episode and possibly this entire season is paying homage to the Jeff Johns comic book issue of The Flash Rebirth. Without further ado, here are my top 5 moments of this episode. Number 5, Cisco aka Vibe, Wally West aka Kid Flash are working together with Iris at the wheel. I just love the idea of Iris being the woman in the chair and the person that's kind of, you know, keeping things going, keeping things rolling, like her motives for doing it. Well, I feel like everyone's motive for continuing to do what they've been doing is because, one, they have to keep the city safe. You know, they can't just stop and lay down just because Barry's gone. And, you know, that's a good point that Iris makes somewhere in the episode when she's talking to Joe. You know, she's like, just because Barry's gone, like, doesn't mean that we just stop doing what we do. He told me to keep running, so I'm going to keep running. And that's exactly what she did. She's definitely not having as much fun as Cisco and Wally. Not to say that they're just like, oh, screw Barry, whatever. Like, they're still worried about Barry, but they're still like, that part of them that we knew before Barry was gone is still shining through. But that nice light and like sweetness to Iris is kind of like dimmed just a little bit. So the dynamics of the team is a little off. You know, Iris is very like, business, business, business. And Cisco's just like joke, joke, business, business. And I just really loved seeing Wally and Cisco work together. It was very refreshing. It was a good balance to some of the heavier moments in the episode. I would like to see more episodes of Cisco and Wally working together. Number 4, Killer Frost or Caitlin Snow, we still don't know, is back. When Cisco goes behind Iris's back, because Cisco wants to bring the Flash back, he wants to bring Barry back, and Iris is just like, don't do that because you don't know if he's there, you're wasting time. What if you open some kind of wormhole? What if you mess something up? Leave it alone. And of course, Cisco, being the persistent, beautiful man he is, he seeks out Caitlin and he finds her randomly in a bar. She's working at like some kind of dive bar, and like her hair color is back, her eyes are back, her skin isn't as pale. And so we're left to wonder, like, what happened? She's back as a team member of Team Flash. Everyone's very, very hesitant about this. And Cisco's just like, no, she's cool. She's cool. And she's like, yeah, I'm cool, but you know, I'm not cool because I'm not Caitlin Snow. Because I'm not Killer Frost. Because I'm Caitlin Snow and I'm here to help you guys. Which that's just me being silly, a dramatic version of what happened. But, you know, she just introduces herself as Caitlin. She's like, I'm cool, guys. Like, you know, what do you need me to do? Number 3, Gibberish Barry is back and he's more confused than ever. Cisco goes through his plan in order to bring Barry back, and the moment it happens, Iris is upset because they went behind her back. Everyone in Team Flash went against what Iris wanted them to do. And in true Flash fashion, can I say that 3 times fast? True Flash fashion, true Flash fashion, true Flash fashion. And in true Flash fashion, Barry, of course, does make it out of the Speed Force, and he's disoriented and he's just in the middle of nowhere, really. Cecilia, Joe's bae, she finds him and she brings the team together. It's like, hey, here he is. And everyone's really excited to see him. They're like trying to give him hugs and say hello. And literally everything Barry's saying makes 0 sense. They're trying to do theories and run tests and things like that, Caitlin and Cisco, in order to figure out what Barry's saying. Maybe there's some hidden code, or maybe it's just simply the fact that there's a different sense of time within the Speed Force. What seemed like a year to them on Earth could have been like 10,000 to Barry in the Speed Force. So he's saying all types of things that make zero sense, and he's talking really fast, and he's drawing random shapes. And of course that genuinely freaks everyone out. They're not sure what to make of it. And like going back to them running tests and things like that, I really do think there was some sort of hidden message in what he was saying because of the way the episode ends, which I'll get more into that later. Number 2, of course, Barry saves the day. A villain named Samurai. He ends up kidnapping Iris. She actually gives herself up as a hostage because 1, she's trying to bring Barry back. Because 2, Samurai wants to destroy all of Central City if he doesn't get the real Flash. Like they tried some like sleight of hand tricks with Wally dressing up in Barry's costume and Cisco and Wally trying to take him on their own, but he wasn't having any of that. He's like, I'm done with the games. I'm done with the imposters. Bring me the Flash or I'm going to sink this whole city. Something in Barry snapped and literally, you know, lightning just flies through his eyes and he darts out of there, breaks through the glass, and like that, Flash is back! He saves Iris. He has like a loving moment with her, and he's back like nothing ever happened. And finally, number 1, we get our first glimpse at our real villain, our true non-speedster villain of the season, the Thinker. Not Le Penseur, a bronze sculpture by August Rodin, aka the Thinker, but DC's version of the Thinker. The Thinker is sitting there at the end of the episode with this menacing look of, you know, the typical evil. Yes, things are going exactly according to plan. I'm getting Barry Allen, or in his case, he just calls him the Flash, ready for whatever evil plan I'm about to do. And I'm really excited. I know a lot of people had issues with the fact that every season, each villain was some sort of speedster. And I feel we'll get to see just exactly what else Barry can do when he's up against someone that's not Gorilla Grodd or someone that's not Killer Shark or Killer Frost in some cases or things like that. You know, we get to see him up against someone that's all brains. Okay, I get it. It wasn't funny.
You suck.
Clifford, or the Thinker, realized that many of the villains that he encountered throughout the years, they weren't very smart, they weren't very bright. So he started an operation where he would be the brains, the thinker behind everything that they needed to do in order to commit specific crimes. And of course, eventually he was defeated by the Flash, and this actually became one of the Flash's greatest foes. Like, we know about the Reverse Flash, but I'm happy we're being introduced to another one of his foes because I had no idea that the Thinker was someone that was really high up on the Flash's enemy list. And you know, I feel whenever TV shows and movies expose us to different types of villains or new villains or underrated villains or things like that, they create opportunity to bring in different types of people. Like, they could bring in their people who solely read comic books, and then they could bring in their people who get their comic book fix from movies and TV shows. But with that being said, guys, I want to talk about Barry's gibberish. I genuinely think there's something hidden in what he said, not some funny little accident or something that Cisco found, but there really is something in what he said, because one of the things that really caught me was when Barry just said, oh, I don't remember anything. The only thing I remember is walking into the Speed Force and saving Iris. But anyways, if you like this video, please give it a like rating down below and leave me a comment. What do you think is going on with Caitlin Snow? Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Gosh, I'm so out of breath, guys. Running that fast really takes something out of you. I mean, it's not easy being the fastest woman alive. Right, Barry? I mean, you wouldn't know anything about that, but...